Hello, hello, hello! My name is Captain Trina, and this is Logical Journey of the Zoombinis, where we are off to go finish our quest in the part that I'm most likely to mess up. Cross your fingers, everyone. Alright, level 3 of the Lion Challenge. Notice we now have 2 sets, once again, incomplete and missing things, on the wall, where we have noses up here and we have feet down here. Well, which is it? There are patterns within patterns, is what there is. Think of if you go, to the library, you have books organized alphabetically by last name, but, let's say you run into 2 authors that have the same last name. Let's say they're 2 Smiths. Then you would default to the first letter of their first name. This is the same sort of thing. Orange noses will go before blue noses, and someone goes before orange. I'll figure that out. But within that, springs will be first, then wheels, then some other sort of nose or feet. Let's see how many. I didn't mean to do that. 1, 2, 3. Right, no, blue is the one that is up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm gonna have to guess. I'm gonna guess that green's in place, but okay, so green's not there. But since this guy, I know for sure is at the front of his pack, that tells me that whatever single color is before him has 5 Zoombinis, which means that red Zoombinis will go first. So there'll be springs first. Red has wheels as well, and after that I'm gonna have to guess. Or no, I don't. I know. Not for red, I won't. Okay, spring, wheel, spring. Goodness, am I not gonna have to guess till back here? Alright, I have. Okay, green goes revolver. So this is the only point where I'm actually going to have to guess. I know there's one in the middle is. I'm going to have to guess whether feet come before skates or skate feet come before feet. And I guessed right. If I hadn't, I still would have been fine.
How fortunate for Zoombinis that you are their guide.
This does mean that I still have no idea where propellers fit in here, though. But that's okay, because it wasn't necessary to pass the challenge. Alright, Crystal's level 3 is as different from level 2 as level 1 was different from level 2. Level 1, we had the Zoombinis up here with reflections, we put them down. Level 2, we had a reflection and then ways to change the reflection and choosing a Zoombini. Now, we have no choice as to what Zoombini and reflection show up, and we are just the ones that are going to manipulate the reflections to fit. Obviously, this first set, we need to change hair and we need to change feet. Well, this looks like the easiest way to change feet. And as long as we can... I'm actually going to do this to match, because as long as I put this behind, then the sunglasses will overwrite the one eye, so we will still have baseball caps, sunglasses, purple noses, and roller skates. Alright. Feet and nose are fine. We need hair. And the other thing. Eyes. You'll notice that some of these have reflections that keep shifting like that. Well, there is a rule to how they work. Each one of the features kind of has a pattern in the game's mind, which I think is the same as when you're at Zoombini Isle. If you look across, they just go to the next one. So baseball cap, I think, is at the end of the line, so they would go back to the beginning, and messy hair is the first one. But flat tops come after ponytails. I think tufts come after. Yeah. So I want this to match. I can use this ponytail to force this to be the flat top, or I could be boring and just use the two that already match. Why complicate things? Now this looks like it should be really easy, because all you have to change is nose color, but in this case both our noses are connected to something else. So we can give her a blue nose, but there are going to be feet that come with it. Well, we can give her feet, but there's hair that comes with it. Well, we can give her hair, but there's an eye that comes with it. So that just means we have to change hers too. So even if your reflection and your Zoomini are pretty similar to begin with, the image that ends up on your crystal might be completely different. Just depends what reflections you have to work with. Alright, definitely using this one. Only way to change her nose to green. And then let's see. How can I get one of you to have flat hair? That works. And then I can just swap this one. So flat top, one-eyed, green spring. Eyes. Where the eyes see? Well, obviously it won't be that. Alright, that works pretty well. While I'm working my way through this long challenge, I just want to say thanks to everyone who's been watching so far and has gotten this far in the videos. I'm glad my ramblings and occasional mess-ups have been entertaining for you. Also, if anyone would like, I can also kind of throw a video together showing how I got this to work on my computer, because, my goodness, it took forever to get it to work. It was kind of gross. This is probably do this here. Because honestly, I remember back when we had this on my computer growing up, even back then you had to play around with it to get it to work. You had to change the color display to 256, which was lower apparently than whatever we had at the time. The game itself I picked up from My Abandonware, and there'll be a download button for that. Except, when I download it now, it shows a zip file, and I'm pretty sure I have an ISO file on mine, so you might just need to unzip it, and then save it, like use an ISO making program to save it as such. But there might just be ways to get zip files to work on computers. But in any case, I actually installed Windows 3.1 within DOSBox, which if you've ever played older games on newer computers, you've probably had some experience with DOSBox. I think whichever website, the Internet Archive, I believe it is, has recently released like over 2,000 DOS games that you can play in your browser. But when you start it up, it says DOSBox, so they're working with DOSBox's program or software or what have you. But this game is a little too recent for a given definition of recent to work on just DOSBox. in theory, you should be able to, get it to work. If you can get, like, a virtual machine running Windows 95, it should work on that too, which is actually what I tried first. But for the life of me, I could not get one with working sound, and this game refuses to boot without sound. So yeah, I spent like 3 days getting this to work, but it was so worth it. Let's see, red nose, red nose. Oh. That should be, it does get kind of hard to keep track of how many you've got left. I should be getting close to the end. Ah, there we go, she's my last one. This is one of the more complex shifts I have to do. Because in order to get this hair to match that, I need this flat top, but then that changes her nose color, so I need to change her nose color back, and I can put this in here, because, I mean, the eyes match, but even if it didn't, that one would be on the outside.
You did it! You saved them all!
Alright. Now this looks like a mess, but really it probably functions like almost exactly the same way that the previous one functioned as. Like, I'm just gonna have one set that I have to send through first, and then switch it over so that I can send everyone else through. I realized, I think that very hard, or no, this is very hard. Oh So Hard doesn't really have its own difficulty level, so it just swaps back and forth between the not so easy and the very hard difficulties. So at that level, at least, if you mess up on something like this, you might be fortunate enough to have the easier version your second time around. Anyway, I should stop talking and start solving this. Alright, purple noses. Do I have to send purple noses last? Looks like it. Right. Green noses. Right, that's my alternating. Green noses are what's going to switch it. Oh, I only have one green nose, that's why. Okay, so he needs to be the last of my non-purple noses. So at the moment, I just have a switching between messy hair and tuft hair set up. So, oh, should set all my purples aside so I don't forget that I'm not supposed to send them yet. Alright, tuft go. I also need to be careful about where the paths meet, because I did practice the way I said I would, and when I did, I had two bubbles run into each other, like, right, put this down, right before they got there. Like, they were on this square, and it still popped and sent them to Nowhere Land. And by Nowhere Land, I mean back to Shade Tree. Oh, that's right, this one, the path just goes straight across. That works nicely then. I think that means I actually can't mess that up. I shouldn't say that though, I'll find some way to do it. not sure what causes the sound to cut out like that. I think maybe if there's a bubble popping at the time? Yeah. Alright, so now I'll send green across. Just let it save for my purple noses. Okay, so we'll go around, around. Can't send the skate yet, or else she'll be dead. Need to send the spring first. Click. But other than that, I think I can just send all of them. That was a little more stressful than I was hoping for. But we made it! Huzzah! As soon as that guy's bubble pops, we'll be on our way.
You got them!
Ooh, look, we'll get to watch it roll over. 7,
This is the place they've been singing.
99.
Prosperity.
Come on. Yeah, lucky number 100. Woot!
Well, what are you waiting for? Free the Zoombinis, you bold adventurer, you!
Wait to
Can't
show
you
them
hear
things.
them crying to you from Zoombini Isle?
Yes!
Free them! Free them!
I will! Be patient, goodness. Alright, look! They made themselves a firehouse! Something practical. So it's for the first leg. This is the middle level for the second leg. Opera house. Apparently band shells and you can't... Why didn't you just build the opera house first and then you could have your bands perform there too? Paperclip museum. That. How do you even use paper clips? You don't have hands. How? Alright, thanks for watching. See you next time, and bye-bye.